Is he on a computer?
Did you see? God, I
can't
hope
see
so.
what you can see.
Don't know what happened there, boys.
Jay,
How are ya?
I got a question for you. Can you hear me? Can you hear him, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. I could barely hear him. Jay, do you have 5 gigabytes available on that computer?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Oh, it's that microphone again. It's the same thing we issue had with Sydney
Michelishon.
Michelishon. Jay, do you know what arson is?
No.
It's when you it's a term we have in the United States for when you set a building on fire.
Oh, yes.
And then like if you set the building on fire like on purpose, then you get the title of arsonist, someone who sets a building on fire, or a car or something. It's not a good title. Like you don't want it.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know if it's worse than like being racist, but it's probably not as bad as being a pedophile. It's bad. It's not good. You don't want it. It's like you don't want that title. I was looking this morning, and in Australia, you guys seem to have the same issue that we have. People are gaining weight in the last 18 months. Not as bad in the United States. Only 1 in 3 Australians has put on about like 25 pounds during the.
Yeah, like during all the lockdowns and stuff.
Yeah. And in the United States, I think it's significantly worse. I think I'm looking at something from the New York Times right now, which is completely untrustworthy, but it's still fun to talk about. 42% of Americans are obese, and another 32% are overweight.
Wow.
I think the question for you, Brian, if the building's already on fire and I were to walk over to it and pour gasoline on it, would I also be an arsonist, even though I didn't set the fire?
Maybe maybe like just an accomplice.
Just an accomplice. And let's imagine that this building is an orphanage. It has 10,000 children in it. 10,000 children in it with no parents. And I'm pouring gasoline on the building. That would be bad, right? Exacerbating the problem.
Seems that way.
And let's say I'm a really famous person in society that everyone looks up to, but I'm not pouring gasoline on the building. Instead, I'm standing out front selling cans of gasoline. Tens of millions of cans of gasoline.
Important question.
Do as you please. Do as you please.
Important.
As this orphanage is burning down right in front of me, I'm selling gasoline.
So how much
go
of
ahead,
your
Brian.
profits are you giving to charities?
Oh, a huge amount. 0.001% I'm giving to charities.
Yes, and then you're advertising that, right? You're giving this money to charities.
Yeah. I am completely blown away that there's not even a second place correlate to people dying from anything on the planet. There's no second place, no DVOC, no cancer, no type 2 diabetes, nothing that even runs even close to obesity. And yet the response from Australia, Canada, the United States, the UK is to lock their citizens down, which is the number one cause, in my opinion, to putting on weight. And if 18 months ago it was fat people dying from type 2 diabetes, viruses, whatever, why would you encourage a lifestyle that has them put on more weight and puts them significantly more at risk? Brian, not only am I going to ask you to run through this burning building, but I'm going to ask you to hold 4 cans of gasoline as you do it. I mean, it's just, this is insane. It would, guys, if you would elect me as president of the great United States, I would set you all free and I would buy you all assault bikes. All of you. All of you assault bikes, and I would have a better response. And a better quality of person would be saved. Jay, you deserve better than a fucking ranting midget from his palatial estate in California, living the dream, sipping on Good Dude's coffee. But I guess your karma has brought me to you. I apologize.
I actually had no idea where you were going with that originally. I thought you were going to talk about him like burning it down on the competition floor or something, but
Yeah, I was expecting something like that as well.
How the fuck is The Rock selling gasoline in front of a burning orphanage? I just don't get it, and people think that's okay. How is LeBron James selling gasoline in front of a burning orphanage? I just don't get how those people can get away with that. I don't understand how you're pushing Sprite when Sprite is the #1 cause of death in this country. I just don't fucking get it. It's like people are. Where's the woke crowd? They should be like. Man, I was picturing it today. Someone who's you're let's say it's me. I'm 5'5" and I weigh 155 pounds. But most guys my age in the United States, let's say, weigh 185 pounds. So you're already 30 pounds overweight at the beginning of this fucking disaster. And then in the last 18 months, you put on another 30 pounds. That means I'd weigh. Oh, he hung up on us. He's like tired of this shit. Now I'd weigh 205 pounds. And they're concerned about some variant. Maybe you should be concerned about the fact you put on another 30 pounds. Jay, you're the man. Look at you. Look at you. Look what you've done. Look what you've done here. Let's go to the leaderboard. And let's go to semifinals. The CrossFit Games leaderboard. For those of you who don't know, this podcast has been seemingly to be obsessed with CrossFit lately. And you were 1 point away from beating Royce Dunn and finishing first place in Australia. You say something else. Say something else.
Yeah,
like, I should have won, or Royce is great, or it was because I had diarrhea that day. Help me out here.
Yeah, like
Get me off of my rant.
Yeah, like the week prior when they were announcing all the events and stuff like that, I don't know, I was sort of getting in my head a little bit, like didn't think they suited me too well, all that sort of thing. A little bit of self-doubt going on, but yeah, I had heaps of confidence going in. Like I won the Open and the quarters in Oceania. So I was sort of had a little thing in my mind. I really wanted to win all three. I was calling it a little clean sweep for myself, especially like just motivating me through the sort of training camp lead up to the Torian Pro. So yeah, pretty bummed about the 1 point, but overall I was just happy.
I mean, you can leave there with your head on straight. I mean, you've definitely of which event was it that you took 17th in? No, sorry. That was Royce. Oh, you didn't even have a bad event.
No, it was just pretty consistent over the whole weekend.
Man, it's incredible. Which was the heavy lift? Was there a heavy lift in this semifinal?
Yeah, there was a clean and jerk ladder.
And which event was that?
It was a Saturday night, so I think the 5th.
it's called
Okay, well that's great.
CNJ ladder on the leaderboard.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. You mean the one that says 156 kilograms?
Yeah.
Do you know Royce?
Yeah. I've known him, yeah. Probably, just through competing over the last probably 4 years.
It sucks. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a good dude. And like,
That's
I got to know him
Wouldn't
a lot more, especially at the Torian Pro this year.
Wouldn't it be great if he was a douche? Then you could go into the games and really sock it to him. And then it's also got to be great. I mean, I hate to say this because, everyone likes to say, hey, you got to just focus on yourself, but you also beat the great James Newberry, who's just consistently been a force of nature coming out of Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
And he looks natural. He doesn't look all juiced up. So, like, you have a good competitor. Sorry, that wasn't a dig at Ricky. As soon as I said that, I'm like, which country's Ricky from? Oh, he's from Australia. Because I really like Ricky. Have you trained with Ricky?
No.
No. Would it be taboo to train with Ricky?
No, I just don't really. I've never really met him.
He's from a different part of the country, isn't he?
Is he in your neighborhood?
He's from Sydney. So I'm from Melbourne. In Victoria.
It's an island, Brian. Everyone's within 20-minute drive of each other.
Right. That is not true. That's a big island.
Yeah, it's big.
I know. Australia has the biggest desert. I think Australia has the biggest desert in the world too, right? Right in the center, you got a monster.
It's very big, yeah.
I used to know this. Is Australia bigger than the United States in terms of landmass?
What was it? What'd you say?
I bet you I could ask. I used to know this. I wonder if Australia bigger than the United States, or is it the same size as like Alaska? Australia is approximately 7,741,000 square kilometers, and the United States is 9,800,000. The United States is 7% bigger. I wonder if that includes Alaska. Okay, so they're basically the same size. 27% difference makes them the same size in my head.
Yeah, a lot less people though, right?
Yeah, significantly less. That is something that's pretty damn amazing. I think you basically have the same amount of people as California. We have 300. You have 25 million people. I think we have 30 million. Which kind of comically is also the same amount as Mexico City. Your entire country.
Jay, have you ever, like, obviously you're just born in Australia, but have you ever realized that or thought about that that's kind of a lucky thing to be born in the southern hemisphere where only 10% of the people and 10% of the pollution in the world exist?
Yeah. No, I never really thought about it, to tell you the truth, but yeah, it's a good place.
Wait, what did you mean? Explain that to me, Brian. What do you mean 10% of the pollution? 10% of the world's pollution? 10% of Australia's pollution? What are you talking
World's
about?
pollution. They're like, at the equator, the ocean and the air kind of circulates back and mostly stays in one hemisphere or the other, and it's just a lot less dirty and a lot less populated in the southern hemisphere.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's awesome. So you guys take a shit and flush it, and it comes over to us. You start your car in the morning, and by evening, my three little playing brothers are breathing that shit in. That's not cool.
That's
how old are you, Jay?
I'm 22.
Oh my God! Do you feel young?
Yeah, I do. I just still feel like I'm 20, but I suppose it's the same thing, pretty much.
Your very first post on Instagram was in 2013. The irony, the crazy part is that, do you know what your very first picture is of?
I don't.
It's of Rob Forte and Chad McKay.
Oh, yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
8 years ago, you were a 14-year-old little boy. You didn't even probably have, like, armpit hair.
Probably not.
And already then, you knew, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely did. Like, and it's crazy how, like, you connect with all the different people. Like, I was just a young fan, and then turns out now I'm like being coached by Rob, so it's cool.
When I see pictures of Rob on the internet, he reminds me so much of the who's the awesome UFC fighter, you guys? I can't believe I can't remember his name. He's one of
Rob
my favorites. Whitaker. They kind of remind me of each other. Their hair, their demeanor, their poise. Except I bet you Rob doesn't play video games, right?
Nah, he doesn't.
Forte? No. Yeah, Whitaker's addicted to video games.
Yeah.
I just can't see Rob.
Yeah, I've heard Whitaker say a few times, like, he doesn't mind the hotel quarantine on the way home because he can just, play his video games.
Are you a UFC fan?
Yeah, I'm a big UFC fan.
Oh,
now
awesome.
Sevan likes you.
That's cool. Like, even being out here, like, the gym that we're training at in Vegas is, like, right next to the Apex, so I've just been, fanboying every time I drive past it.
Oh, that is sweet. Have you taken a picture out in front of it yet?
Yeah, I've sent a picture of it to a few of my mates, but I haven't taken a photo of me in front of it, but...
Dude, that's awesome. How do you stumble across CrossFit at 14 years old?
My dad was doing it for a year prior, and yeah, I was sort of just like a little. Not, I wasn't too fat, but I was just like a little chubby kid, and he sort of like said if I wanted to try it out, and yeah, I just went in and loved it.
And your dad's kind of a stud. You got that picture of him on your Instagram riding one of the nicest Harley Davidsons I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a really nice bike.
And what's your dad do for a living?
He's a plumber, so he has his own business.
Oh shit! So your dad's a plumber and you're an electrician?
Yeah. My
shit.
brother's a plumber as well, and he works with my dad, my younger brother, and yeah, he just wouldn't let me do plumbing because he didn't think I could handle it. So I went with the bit more of a cleaner trade, and yeah.
So basically, your dad's like, "Hey, I don't think you can be a plumber," so you're like, "Okay, fuck you, I'll be the CrossFit champ." You can handle that.
It ended up like that.
And so when you started when you were 14, were you kind of like dragging ass when you went there? Were you like kind of like pouting like I would have been, like at 14, like you want to go play with your friends, and your dad's like, "Come on, come to the gym," and you're like, "God damn it."
Nah, it wasn't like that at all. I just yeah, as soon as I started, I just loved that you couldn't really ever master it. You know, you can always continue to get better at something. And for me, I suppose the motivation at the start was to do a muscle up. So.
And how old were you when you got a muscle up?
I want to say maybe like 15 or 16.
So after a couple of years. And there's pictures of you competing very young too.
Yeah, there was a lot of like just local competitions around at the time, and I mean even the Open, but when there was no teenage division or anything like that, I was just jumping straight in.
You didn't mind losing. You didn't mind putting like kind of like yourself on the line and participating and knowing that you might not do well.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like especially at the start, like I was still very fresh and just wanted to be involved. So.
Because I think a lot of kids are kind of afraid of losing. I know I would have been afraid of losing.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose. I don't know. I suppose at the time, like I just thought. I didn't think that, you know, I was going to take it serious. I thought maybe I was just doing it for fitness at the time, and then it turned into a sports for me. So,
were there pretty girls in the CrossFit class?
Everyone was older than me, but yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Like you remember going in there at 14 and being like, wow, there's a lot of attractive women.
I don't remember that specifically, but...
Were you a shy boy?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like normal shy for a 14-year-old, or like exceedingly shy?
I'd say normally shy, yeah. Normal shy.
Normal.
Yeah.
And did you play any sports before then?
Yeah, I pretty much like did all sports, like even in, like racing motorbikes as well, early, and then yeah, just like AFL, which is Aussie football, and yeah, basketball a little bit as well.
So you liked moving?
Yeah, for sure. My whole family was like pretty much always playing sports.
No rugby?
And how much older
No
is
rugby
your
or cricket?
Rugby or cricket? Nah, not rugby or cricket. That's sort of like rugby's a lot more popular in like Queensland and Sydney, but in Melbourne, Aussie rules football is very popular.
Brian, can you see Jay's upload status?
No, I don't think I want to either, though.
It says 0%. I've never, ever seen that.
Well, first time for something else.
Jay, how's your internet? How's your internet at your house?
He's not at his house.
I'm in a hotel, so that's what I was scared of.
Oh, you're outside an airport, and I just keep hearing airplanes taking off?
Pretty much. I'm actually pretty close to the airport here.
And are you on a computer? Oh, because you're not in Australia, you're in Vegas.
I'm in Vegas, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. This is going to be something else. And is your computer plugged in?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
You mean?
And do you need to take it anywhere today?
No.
Oh, sweet. Because you might have to leave it there for like a week to finish uploading, right where it's sitting.
I'm hotspotting on my phone, but I can go over to the Wi-Fi, but I think it's a little bit slower, but I'll figure it.
Damn. Okay, great. So did you look up to your brother?
My brother's younger than me. He's two years younger, but yeah, he motivates me. He's like my main hype man at competitions.
So he looks up to you, and you don't want to let him down.
Yeah, for sure.
And your girlfriend, who's your girlfriend?
Maddie Sturt.
And when I saw pictures of her on your Instagram, I recognized her. Was she a competitor?
Yeah, she's been at the games for 4 years, I think.
Holy cow! Is she going again this year also?
No, she come third in the last chance qualifier, so just missed out.
And how did you meet her?
Through competitions, but mainly because we were both sponsored by Reebok.
So, can you tell me about meeting her? When you met her? How you met her?
Yeah, I knew her for a couple of years before we started dating, but yeah, it was just like through competition and a lot of like Reebok things going on.
Did you make the first move, or did she? How do you know that you're capable of talking to and dating a CrossFit Games athlete?
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose that we were just like already really good friends, and then yeah, you get talking, and then it all just happens.
Right. So it's very smooth.
Yeah.
You got to be like a pretty rare outlier for a 22-year-old to have a girlfriend you met in person.
Yeah, I suppose not on Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably is it better for two? Do you think that works for two athletes to be dating as opposed to maybe someone who's not in the sport also?
Yeah. It's like we both have the same goals, so we both support each other. So it's pretty easy, yeah.
Do your parents like her?
Yeah.
Does your brother like her?
Yes.
You tell him not to make eye contact with her for more than like 20 seconds? Like, hey.
Now,
Everyone's there.
when you were only given one extra person to bring with you to the United States, did your brother like her then?
Yeah, well, Dad said he couldn't go because he had to keep working.
So he made it easy for you.
Yeah.
So she's in your corner now. She came with you. Oh, that's awesome. So you have and have you been to the games before?
Yeah, I was in team 2017 and 2018, and then last year, if you want to count it virtually, but it's not the same.
No, I don't want to count team either, or virtual. And was it hard switching from team to individual?
No, I felt like that helped me a lot, like just to sort of see how it all worked, and then when I went individual, I was ready.
Are you all in now? I mean, 22. I ask you this because we were talking to Sydney yesterday. Sydney. Go ahead, Brian. McLishan, and thank you. And I was trying to figure out when it clicked for her that she would call herself a CrossFit Games athlete, because it's such an enormous commitment, right? It's so easy for like someone who carries a camera around to say I'm a photographer, or so easy for me to say I'm a podcaster. I just call people and talk to them and post it on the internet, right? But to say you're a CrossFitter, there's this leap you have to make into like, okay, I'm going to live in the pain cave now for 10 years, right? It's like, do you remember when you made that leap? Or have you made it?
Yeah.
Are you still just fucking around?
Yeah, well, no, this year I definitely made it. I well, obviously I had to do my electrical apprenticeship, and that was 4 years. So, yeah, I did that, and then I always had the plan on doing something and going full time with CrossFit once I had something to fall back on. So, I mean, I feel like I made the leap of making CrossFit a priority probably at the start of 2020, but this year I've gone full time with CrossFit. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what you got to do. So,
And when you go full time with CrossFit, what are the implications? That it's like in my mind, it means basically it's 24 hours a day dealing with your body, sleep, food, movement, mental mindset. It's like everything has to be perfect, like all the aspects of life. Is that what it's like?
No, I don't try to take it too serious, because that's when I think, I feel like when I'm not having fun, then, the results won't follow. So, I mean, it's good to have the time to, maybe do more than one session a day, and then, having the time to prep your food and then recovery as well. Whereas when I was working and then just rolling up to the gym in the afternoon, that was a lot tougher. So, yeah, for sure, having the time to, listen to your body and then go from there.
When I used to play Frisbee like 5 or 6 hours a day, every day for years. And so all my friends played Frisbee. And now I have kids, and I was actually talking to one of the parents about this the other day. Like all my friends, and I use that term loosely, they're basically people with kids, and I don't really care whether the parents are cool or not cool. My threshold for tolerance is enormous if their kids are cool, because I want my kids to be able to hang out with cool kids, right? So like if you have a kid who doesn't bite and who is easy for my kids to play with, and doesn't encourage them to throw rocks at the side of my house, then you're in. And I don't care if I really don't give a shit about the parents. Like, I'll be friends with them. I'll make it work, so they bring their kids to my house and play. And it's also really easy for me to push away bad people now, right? So is it like that with CrossFit too? Have you noticed a restructuring of your social group because of just this severity or not the severity of what you're doing? It's not life or death, but you are walking a tightrope. You're trying to make your body the best body in the world, right? Most capable.
Yeah. I mean, I have to knock back a lot of things that all my school friends and all that sort of, that when they're sort of going out and all that sort of stuff, I have to say no. So I probably don't get asked anymore. But just things like that. I mean, don't hang out as much with all my school friends anymore.
Do boys your age smoke weed in Australia?
No, it's still illegal.
Oh. Well, it was illegal when I went to school and everyone smoked weed. But
fair.
You would think that would be like
not in my group.
Not in your group. And is drinking big? Drinking, and you can't really do that.
I try not to anyway.
It doesn't fit in your macros.
Nah, I don't even really measure all that stuff either. I just eat whatever.
Yeah, you're not going to waste any of your caloric intake on a Heineken.
No.
Or St. Pauli's Girl. What do you guys drink there? What's the thing with the giant
Foster's.
can? Foster's. Is that still big? Is that still big in Australia?
Not so much. It's just Corona, all the main beers.
That was 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
They had that Foster's
That was huge.
campaign, and that's just what I remember.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Australia or something. Like the guy had a huge knife instead of a pocket knife, and he drank a giant can of Foster's. That's what they would tell us about you here in the States.
Riding a kangaroo to school.
Tell me about your journey to the United. What hotel are you in? Can you say, or are you afraid that the fans will mob you?
No, we're not staying on the strip or anything like that. We're just in a Holiday Inn, just like a pretty chill hotel.
So tell me about your journey from Australia to the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, so we had to put through travel exemptions, all that sort of stuff to get permission to leave the country. So yeah, there was a lot of like planning going into it, and yeah, we had to fly to Sydney and then Sydney to LA, LA to Vegas. But yeah, it was sort of weird because most of the country's in lockdown at the moment, and my state's in like its 5th lockdown. So planes and airports are like there's no one on them, and like airports virtually closed. So yeah, super weird. And even like the plane from Sydney to LA, there was 15 total people on it, like on a mass.
Yeah, you put a you put a little video up on your Instagram, and I was looking at it. I watched it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah, like I mean, I wasn't complaining because you have a whole row to yourself and sort of make a bed, but it was super weird. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And
It was all like pretty cruisy. I mean, just weird with the lockdowns because yeah.
is at every checkpoint, at every interaction with airport officials and customs people, are you kind of like holding your breath, like, holy shit, are we going to get stopped here? Are we going to get stopped here?
Yeah, especially because the rules are like changing every day. So when we went to the airport at home, they said that Sydney's made a rule now. Anyone coming from Melbourne is going to have to quarantine for 14 days when you get to Sydney. And we're like, well, we can't do that. And lucky we just kept saying that we had an exemption and all that. And then they said that we were going to have to get escorted from the plane in Sydney to a hotel for the night. And then they were going to bring us back to get on the plane to LA. But then we get to Sydney and we just walked straight out. It's like, there's just so many like weird things like that going on. And it just like, it stresses you out when, you know, ends up nothing actually in place. So yeah, I was definitely in that mind frame of like, you know, scared that we're going to get stopped and not be able to come over, but we're here now, so all the stress is gone.
And if they tell you that you're going to get escorted to the hotel, then when you don't get that escort, you must have been nervous coming back to the airport. Like they would ask you, hey, well, why weren't you escorted back here?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, when we got there was all people lined up and you had to fill in like a declaration. So yeah, it was just super weird. Like, yeah.
Man, and when you say that you're in your 5th lockdown, what does a lockdown look like?
It's pretty much you have to stay home. There's 4 reasons to leave. You know, if like you're an essential worker, you're going for exercise, which exercise, the gyms are closed, so that means like go for a walk or a run, go to the supermarket, and then I don't know what the 4th one is, but yeah, and you can't leave like 5Ks from your house.
And so theoretically, you could be outside all day if you were just exercising all day?
Yeah, well, no, they even say like you got 2 hours or something like that, but I don't know how they police that, but that's what they say.
Did you ever get in trouble for not obeying the lockdown?
No.
Do you see people getting in trouble?
Yeah, like I haven't seen like police or anything telling anyone off, but I've seen like videos and stuff of like, you know, people not wearing masks and they're getting fines and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's what we see here in the United States about Australia. We see a lot, you know, they just show us through social media and the news, we only see like the worst of the worst, but I can't tell if that's like the norm. You know, like they show like the police storming a lady's house who's pregnant and taking her away and arresting her because she posted something on Facebook against the lockdowns, and you're just like, holy shit. But like, you can't tell if that's just a one-off or if the cells in Australia are full of pregnant women.
Yeah, that's definitely a one-off. Yeah, stuff like that's going viral is all like a one-off. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
And how long are you here in the United States?
The plan is 2.5 weeks. But yeah, we got weird news the other day that United and the United Airlines and stuff aren't flying now until September 4th because of the lockdown in Sydney. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to get on another flight, but it just seems weird that they've cancelled all their flights and not going to fly again until the lockdown in Sydney is supposed to lift. So apparently American Airlines have done that as well, but yeah, I've reached out to like all the other Aussie athletes and they haven't been notified yet. So hopefully it's just United and we can get on another flight home.
And is your only comrade on this trip Maddie?
Yes.
Well, one thing that should help motivate you, if you win the CrossFit Games this year, there will be so many people swinging from your dick that you could probably stay at people's homes and shit for like months here in the United States. People will just love on you. But unfortunately, that's contingent on becoming the absolute fittest person who's currently on planet Earth. So it is, but I bet you it would lead to a lot of invitations to staying at a lot of wealthy people's homes and shit. You could go up to Vermont and stay with Matt. I bet he's a sucker for a Games athlete winner.
It'd be nice.
And that wouldn't be so bad. You know, that's a great time to be. I don't know how it is in Australia right now, but these next 4 months here in the United States or 3 months, I mean, are pretty much amazing everywhere. And if you were to come west to the West Coast, I mean, we basically have our summer. We keep our summer here in California until like December, so it's pretty damn nice.
Yeah, I mean, like it'd be super cool to like hang out here for a couple of months, especially like home being in lockdown. There's sort of, you know, no reason to go home, but yeah, it's just the money, all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, money. I always forget about that part. Jay, what does your training look like when you're locked down? How did you do that?
I had a gym at home, so when it was real like hectic lockdown, we were locked down for like 8 months. I had a pretty good gym at home, so I was still able to do everything. But yeah, the next few times we ended up sort of finding rules out that you can go to the gym if it's your job. So.
Do you think your training suffered, or do you think there was any benefit to the lockdown? Did it motivate you? Did it get you more focused? How does that play out for you?
Yeah, I found it tough, like the motivation, because you know, it's just not as fun not being around your mates and, you know, throwing the banter around, all that sort of stuff. So I suppose missing that sort of social side and enjoying sort of racing your friends and talking shit is what I found tough.
Since you started your training at 14 and you're 22 now, have you ever gone backwards?
Yeah, I would say like, no, I wouldn't say backwards, but just like the early stages when I was young, you know, I'd be a little bit over it and, you know, have like 2 weeks off and just early on. But no, I wouldn't say I've gone backwards.
And what age did you have when we were talking to Sydney yesterday? It just sounds like in the last 2 years, from when she was 19 to when she was 21, that her fitness just exploded. Like, it almost seems unbelievable, the leaps in the gains she's made. Has it been like that for you too?
Yeah, I'd definitely say in the last 2 years for sure.
Because there's got to be some point where you're snatching 200 pounds and you're so proud of yourself, but then also in your head you're like, well, fuck, someone else snatched 300 pounds and I'll never do that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think it's just sort of like where you're at, like, in growth as well. Like, in the teenage divisions, like, there was obviously guys a lot more developed than me, so I didn't do as well. Like, I mean, in like sort of the strength numbers and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like, yeah, now I'm in a place where, you know, I'm sort of seeing that level.
When you don't have facial hair, you don't look a day older than 16.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you can. I mean, your body does. I mean, you have a man-child body, but when I go back in your Instagram and just even a little bit, when you don't have facial hair, it's crazy how young you look. I couldn't even believe you're the same person.
Yeah, like, And that's it. Again, that's like the last 2 years. Like I could only maybe grow like a little mustache in 2019, but yeah.
Are you keeping the beard for the games?
A little mustache.
Yeah, I'll probably trim it up, but sharpen it up a little bit.
Have you lived a good life, Jay?
Yes, I have.
Your mom and dad are together?
Yeah, yep. Families all together, very solid, and yeah, super lucky.
You've been healthy your whole life?
Yes,
You have both your testicles?
yes, I do.
Have you ever met Chad McKay?
Yeah, I have a couple of times, just at competitions as well through Rob.
Was he nice to you?
Yeah, super good dude.
Is the whole? I think he's an amazing dude. I'm just looking for some dirt on him. No one could be that nice and perfect. Is the whole CrossFit community in Australia pretty tight?
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, especially at Torreon, I realised that too. Like, everyone's just real good mates, especially on the men's side. Like, yeah, everyone throws banter around, and it's just, yeah, such a good time.
Because you guys yell all that Aussie stuff, and the crowd gets behind you. You even bring that shit to the United States and make everyone else feel bad because you guys are having so much fun. And how has Tia affected the sport in Australia?
Yeah, she's definitely blown it up. Like, yeah, I suppose everyone's just sad that she's that they can't watch her over here anymore because she's living in the States. But yeah, she's definitely put CrossFit on notice a lot more in Australia.
Yeah, she's a. It's really cool that she's Australian for you guys. I mean, you basically have someone. If she wins this year, it will be hard to say she's not the most dominant CrossFit Games athlete ever. Would this be her 5th win?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yep.
Does anyone know if she plans on retiring after this year? Has anyone interviewed her or talked to her?
I've heard both ways. I haven't talked to her, so that's the only person I would trust with that information.
I trust Jay with it. What rumors have you heard, Jay?
I don't know if I've just like heard little things like on interviews too, but yeah, I suppose you can't know for sure.
You have a YouTube channel, and in one of your recent interviews, you were making predictions about who is going to win events. On behalf of Brian and I, we'd like to tell you to stay in your fucking lane and just compete. We'll deal with the predictions.
Yeah, like, I mean, the story about my YouTube channel is like, I'm just trying to get a lot more comfortable in front of the camera, you know, like that's what my main reason for all my YouTube videos is. But yes, I'll take note of that.
You seemed very comfortable. How did you do in your picks?
Yeah, that not so well. I was backing Dallin. Dallin Pepper was looking really good.
He was looking really good. Well, just so you know, not to make you feel actually to make you feel bad. I think Brian in general gets 4 out of 5 right. So just keep practicing.
Actually, Jay, there's something you said a while ago that kind of surprised me, was that when you saw the Torium Pro workouts, that you didn't think a lot of them were good for you. Because when I obviously don't know as much about you as an athlete as you know about yourself, but I generally think of you as an athlete who there isn't that much that's actually bad for you. So I was curious what you thought in particular might have been a less than ideal workout or circumstance for you down there.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I suppose like it was sort of just, I was just getting in my head a little bit. I mean, I sort of just felt like there was 3 out of the 7 workouts were with machines, and I don't know. I felt like I'm not as a bigger dude that can sort of move those machines well. So yeah, I just felt like I was just getting in my head too much and talked myself out of it. But it's weird how it works. Like the event that I thought I was going to do really well in was my worst finish. So yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Just, you know, your little mind games and stuff, which, I mean, I've worked on a lot, and I feel like I'm usually really solid going into competitions, and really confident in my fitness. So, yeah, it was just, I suppose, maybe the long layoff of not having an in-person competition for you know, over a year. So, yeah, I suppose I just surprised myself and sort of reassured my mental game to not doubt myself.
How
How tall are you?
Maybe like 175 centimeters.
he's about 5'9", I think.
Yeah,
Oh, and how much do you weigh?
85 kilos.
I think it's 183 or something like that.
Oh, so you're the first perfect CrossFitter we've interviewed.
He's one of the he's actually
There's
he's
all
actually
these
one of the
fucking-
latest competitors this year at the games for the men.
Yeah, and like I think in the last 6 months I've put on, you know, 4 or 5 kilos.
Like 10, 12 pounds. Yeah.
Wow. Are you trying to do that?
Yeah, like definitely, because just the strength numbers, I think has helped a lot with.
Is Vegas a mile high?
A mile high?
What's the elevation in Vegas? Are they at a mile high? How high? What's the elevation
I think
in
it's
Vegas?
sea level.
Not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, is it? Why did you choose? Am I confusing
Yes.
it with Denver? Why did you choose Vegas to Vegas elevation? Why did you choose Vegas?
Ma-
Oh, 2,000 feet, less than half a mile.
Really?
Yeah,
Sorry, go
mainly
ahead, Jay.
because of the heat. I just wanted to feel what it would be like, and then yeah, I suppose that in Madison it won't be as bad. But yeah, definitely the first day that we got here, we did a running session in the heat, and it was very tough. But yeah, over the course of the week, got a lot more comfortable being in the sun and sort of being a lot more comfortable and not panicking, feeling that. So
You're not.
And which gym are you working out in? Sorry, Brian.
we are training at Culmination South.
So that's the gym. So you're there with Carrie Pearson, Bethany Shadburn, Daniel Brandon, and you're not the only Australian guy that's in Vegas right now, are you?
Yeah, so that was just like super lucky that Khan came over, and he said that he was going to be here as well the week prior. So yeah, that's made it a lot more enjoyable as well, with him jumping into our sessions. So yeah, and I can't thank the guys enough there at Culmination South, because they've been like super welcoming, and it's been really fun.
Wow. Why is Khan there? I made up a reason in my head. Do you know why he's there?
Yeah, he's in the demo team, but he's in Vegas because he's good mates with Justin Kotler.
That's it.
Oh, I thought he was courting Danielle.
Brandon.
Danielle.
Yeah.
Brandon. Yeah, that's the story I told myself right away.
No
He was
one's
just
surprised
courting
that that's the
Danielle
story you came up with.
Brandon. Maybe I'm projecting. So did you know him back in Australia? Did you say you guys were blokes? Is that the word you used? He seems like a great dude. The little time I've spent with him, and his persona on through the media is that he's dope. Is he dope?
And he's such a good dude, and he always just wants to help you out.
That's awesome. And he's on the demo team. What a cool thing. Who's the other one? Oh, that's right. And has he made it to the States yet?
Yeah, he's been training. He was training with Tia prior to the LCQ.
He came over, like over a month ago.
Yeah, he came over here like pretty much straight after Torian.
Do you have any desire to train with Tia?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to, like, if the opportunity ever arises.
Probably just show her your passport and prove that you're Australian. I think that's how you guys work.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure they would be super welcoming as well.
And when will you start making the journey? How many days are we out till the games?
It's getting close.
Less than a week
Yeah,
now.
5 days.
Yeah.
Is the 20? Today's the 23rd. It's Friday the 23rd, and does the event start on the 28th?
It does.
Wednesday the 28th.
Yeah, but we have check-in and all that sort of stuff on the Monday.
Okay, so when do you start? When do you head to Madison?
Heading on Sunday, 25th. So, yeah, just before.
Okay, and will you? I'm assuming you'll fly.
Yeah, we got to fly to Chicago and then fly to Madison.
Do you have any angst about? I'm assuming when you get to the venue, there's going to be one final test to see if you have the virus. Do you have any anxiety about that?
A little bit, but I've been vaccinated and stuff like that. But I know that you can still get it. But yeah, a little bit. Like, we're just being super cautious as well, because I know it's a lot more common here than it is at home. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you're still 100% susceptible to getting it, but if you get it, theoretically the vaccine would make you asymptomatic, so you wouldn't spread it, right?
That's what I've heard too. And I've heard that, like, yeah, people have still got it, but it's just pretty much just like getting the flu. Like, it's not as bad.
But it would still stop. They would still not let you compete.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if they're testing people who have been vaccinated. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, well, God, I hope for you that they're not, because it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on all over the sporting world, that you're seeing people, especially these Olympians. I don't know what I never seem to read the articles, but I keep hearing about Olympians who test positive, and then I just assume that means that they have to sit in their hotel room and they don't get to compete.
Yeah, I've heard that there was an Aussie tennis player who was having Grand Slams and stuff before going to the Olympics, and he had it, so he couldn't compete.
Hey Brian, we have a hum, and when you leaned over to your left, it went away.
Yeah, well,
Lean over to the left again. I want to see if that happens.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Go that way.
This is what will make it go away.
Oh. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Did you mute yourself?
I don't know where it's coming from.
It's your fucking computer, because you have a computer from 1987 with like a fan the size of a Walmart fan in there. I can't wait till this podcast is successful and we can buy you a new computer. God damn, that'll be amazing. Maybe this interview with Jay will push us over. Jay, you gave away a sauna. Tell me about that. How did you give away a sauna? I don't even own a sauna, and you're giving saunas away.
Yeah, so a company, a local company, reached out, and they wanted to help with fundraising the trip over here, because obviously everyone knows that it's costing like triple the amount. So yeah, they reached out and said that they wanted to offer a sauna, to someone who's donated. So that was super cool, and it got everyone super pumped, and it boosted the fundraiser, which was really, really helpful.
And what was the name of the company?
iHealth Saunas.
And do you own one of those?
No, I don't.
Oh shit! They should have given you two. Here's one for you. Do you sauna? Where do you do that if you don't have one? Oh, gotcha. Damn. Sorry, iHealth. I wish I wouldn't have asked that question. And do you ice bath also?
No, I don't.
You don't ice bath? You don't ice bath. And why not?
I don't really like it, but
you don't like it because it causes discomfort, or you don't like how it affects your performance?
Yeah, discomfort, and I mean, like, I suppose I don't really have a setup to do it.
I'm going to bet that you use one at the CrossFit Games. Yes or no?
Yeah, I think I will.
Oh shit. That was too easy. I was hoping for a little pushback.
Yeah, depends.
Do you have all your food and everything figured out? What you're going to eat at the games?
Yeah, I just like will eat a lot of stuff that's just easy to get in because I find when I'm competing it's hard to eat, just with like the nerves and all that sort of stuff.
Will you be at a house or a hotel room?
Hotel.
Why is that?
Just I suppose the cost.
Are hotel rooms cheaper than renting a
Yeah,
house?
the Airbnbs are ridiculous.
That must be people just taking advantage of the fact that there's a lot of people coming to town because I can't imagine anything being expensive in Madison.
Yeah, and I think the hotels boosted up a little bit too.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I don't know what the real estate market there is doing now, but when I was there in 2017 or 18, I remember, or both years, I remember looking at housing prices, and it was just crazy how cheap everything is in Madison. I mean, you get a house on the lake for like $500,000. It was nuts. You can't even get a one-bedroom shack with a fucking outhouse in Santa Cruz, California for $500,000. You cannot buy anything. Is it expensive where you live also in Australia?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, what you just mentioned then. Like, average house where I live, I mean, I'll say like a starter house would be, like 500,000-600,000.
Frequently when I see the most expensive places in the world to live, I see, the San Francisco Bay Area, Sydney, and Hong Kong as like...
Yeah, Sydney, their average house is very expensive.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Jay,
Especially with only 25
was the
million
gym that your
Go ahead,
dad
Brian,
started
sorry.
training at Rob Forte's gym?
No, it was a gym about 10 minutes away.
And then presumably he took you to the same one he was at. So at what point did you either meet Rob or make the transition to the different gym?
It was as I finished my last year in the teenage division. So when I was 17, I connected with Rob and went from there.
Did he like recruit you and say, "Hey, do you want to come train with us? Maybe be a part of our team or something like that?"
Yeah. He offered me to train there for free and mentor me and get me started.
And was that did that change? Had you already had aspirations to compete in the sport, or did that enhance it, or did that kind of propel that forward in any way?
Yeah, that enhanced it massively, especially because I was like a big fan of Rob's, and it kept the motivation at a peak.
At first, were you nervous at all training with him?
Yeah, for sure.
And then you beat him, and then it was all good.
Yeah, and then as I started to build a good relationship with him, it was obviously just really really good, pushing each other and
Will he be at the games this year?
No, he's got a young family and one on the way, so he sort of didn't want to risk coming over here and not being able to get home. So he will probably be on FaceTime a lot through the night.
So he's your coach. Okay. Sorry.
How good is he still? Like, does he push you in workouts pretty frequently?
Yeah, he beats me, I'd say, at least 2 times a week in a workout.
Because we were talking with Samuel Cornway the other day, who's been training down with Rich at Mayhem, and he says the same thing. He's like, this guy's still great. He's still beating me on a majority of the workouts.
Yeah, man. He pushes. If I'm beating him in a workout, it's only just.
Wow. Barely.
It's only what?
By 10, 20 seconds.
You speak Australian, Brian? You knew what he was saying?
I did a quick translation.
I apologize.
Are you going to do amazing in the swim? Like when we think of Australians, we think, oh shit, if there's water, those guys win.
No, not so much. I wasn't like a surf life-saving guy growing up, so I mean, I always was in like a pool or a beach and whatnot, but never really like constantly swimming properly.
Do you have something you're better at than? Are you better at strength events? Are you better at endurance events? Or do you have a side that you prefer?
Yeah, I've been asked this a little bit as well. Like, I just feel like I'm just very well rounded and not like, at that top at one thing. So I mean, like, I'm good on my hands and handstand push-ups, all that sort of stuff. Like, I love to do and feel like that's a good strength of mine as well. But I still feel like, at the games level, it's still not like the top to sort of like win an event. I mean, I could surprise myself and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just feel confident that I'm just very well rounded.
You look pretty comfortable on the handstand obstacle course that you guys had set up over there.
Yeah, that was good fun. I always like doing the obstacles.
How long is that event?
We don't know.
I mean, it looks like it's less than a minute.
It could
right?
be, but like you said, we've talked about before. You never know with Dave. What if he says, "Okay, now you guys are going down and back," and suddenly it's twice the time domain.
Yeah, and that's the same thing what I'm thinking as well, is like all the events that have come out, they're not official. There's going to be some change.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
In your training with Rob, does he writes most of the programming?
Yes, he does all of it, yeah.
And does he like to show it to you ahead of time? Does he give you a week at a time, or is it just kind of show up and then find out on the day?
Yeah, it's a week at a time.
And he never change.
Where did you take second?
Does he
Brian,
change
sorry.
that up at all after you qualify for the games, just to give you that experience of finding something out immediately and then needing to figure out how to do it?
Yeah, for sure, especially like the last 2 weeks being at home, he'd change it up.
Where did you take second place to Rich at? Where did you compete against Rich?
That was the Torian Pro. Yeah, before it was
But this was it wasn't an individual
year was
competition
that?
though. It was teams of two.
Yeah, teams of two. So Rich was with Royce and I was with Rob. So that was 2019.
Wow. Okay, and how close were you guys to them?
I don't know off the top of my head on points, but I know that we only beat them in like 1 or 2 events.
Wow, okay, because when I saw that, I was trying to figure out where did Rich compete as an individual. So I guess that makes sense. He wasn't competing as an individual. What was Rich doing out there?
I think, just came out for that. I know China Cho and
Tasia
came out as well. Yeah.
What year was that, Brian? What was Rich doing out there? That seems so
I
uncharacteristic
think
of
what
him.
was 2019, but I think it was like a sponsorship thing, an agreement, and partnering with Reebok and Torian, and just getting some obviously high profile athletes from the U.S. out into Australia, because a lot of times the Australian CrossFit competitions are very contained. Even Jay's, I think, besides this year, he's only, I think you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, had one other individual competition that I would call like international in a live setting at least. Most of his experience competing is with the other Australian men, and most of the Australian fans only get to see the Aussies and Kiwis, I guess we should include New Zealand in that, compete with each other. So I think Rich was just coming down there as like a promotional thing.
Oh, you have to talk out loud because some people are listening, Jay. You have to be like, yes, Brian, you're right, or fuck, you're a know-it-all. You're not even close. You choose. Yeah, I won't force you what to say, but I do have to force you to actually open your mouth and talk. Sorry, buddy.
I've just been used to watching your guys' podcasts on YouTube.
So you don't even think you're on the show right now. You think you're just watching it, and it's just Brian and I and some handsome dude from Australia. Okay, well, you're on the show, so go ahead. Is Brian right or not?
So
Jesus Christ. He's fucking 22. He doesn't even want to be on the show. He wants to go roll around in bed with Maddie and then go train. He don't give a fuck about this.
No, I'm happy. I'm in.
Jay, how did you choose that competition in Argentina, Southfit, to go compete at?
Yeah, that was another cool opportunity that Reebok organised.
And then there were a lot of
So wait. I'm not letting him off that easy. Hold on. So, but did you have to do it? The question is Brian's asking, how did you choose it? And you're saying it was a good opportunity. Did you have to do it?
No, they just offered, and I thought that it would very good opportunity to see that part of the world, and then also potentially qualify for the games.
And do they contact your agent, or does someone from Reebok call you directly?
Yeah, at the time, someone from Reebok just called, because I was good mates with long story short, the guy who worked for Reebok is now my manager. So I was just...
Oh, no shit. Who's that?
Andreas Glor.
I wonder if I know him. How long was he at Reebok?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I reckon I would like to say maybe 6 or 7 years.
Is he Australian?
Okay. So he just
And who else does he manage? Who else does he manage?
Maddie, Rob, Zeke, and Ali Turner, who's competing at the games this year.
Are you and Royce is at Mayhem?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have you ever thought about changing coaches?
No, not at all. Never crossed my mind.
Rob's your boy.
Yes. I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah, I could see that. He's a staple in the CrossFit community. It's funny. I always talk about people. Brian and I will talk about people who've been in the game for a long time, and we're probably pretty American centric on that. But when I hear Rob Forte's name, I mean, shit, I can't remember a games he hasn't been at. What was his first year at the CrossFit Games?
I think this is a question for Brian.
Good job. Smooth, Jay. Smooth.
Rob's first year at the games. I don't know for sure. I would guess it was 2011 is my guess.
Yeah, I think his last year as an individual was 2017, and it was funny because the 2018 season I qualified. That was my first year I qualified as an individual for regionals. I finished 29th, and that was the year that Rob asked me if I wanted to go in a team with him.
And did you say yes right away, or did you have any doubts? Were you like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be on this team?
Nah, I said yes straight away. Like, I was sort of super pumped because like 8 years prior to that, or 7 years prior to that, he was an individual, and always looked up to him, and then just thought there was a crazy opportunity that he could offer that to me, and we had a couple of solid girls at our gym as well, so that was a really fun year.
Did you have a goal for a specific year that you wanted to make the games?
I mean, no, I didn't. I just always had in mind that it was going to happen eventually, and I've just always been here to just enjoy the process, and then when it happens, it happens. So, I felt like I've been lucky enough to be on a team and sort of experience how it all sort of works. Like, I mean, obviously not being in a crazy test as the individuals do, but just sort of seeing how it all works and being ready for what's to come.
Did when we spoke to Sydney yesterday, I think she said she's 21, and her goal was to make it to the games by the time she was 26, or when she was 26. She was giving herself a 5-year window, and she ruined her goals because she made it 5 years too soon. So I was just that's where that question came from. And you're 22, and it seems so young to make it. I wonder, do you think about next year's games already? Have you thought about next year's games already? Smart. Very, very smart. And are you still working do you practice your trade as an electrician?
I mean, like, I have a little, like, couple of cash jobs here and there, but I haven't had time to do that, especially the lead up to Torian and the games.
So by cash jobs, you mean like friends of yours who are starting huge marijuana grow operations? You'll go in and rewire their house to be. Are you guys 220 in? Look at me, Brian. Watch me show off here a little bit. Are you guys 220 in Australia, or are you guys 110?
240.
240. And when you think about the United States being on 110, does that disgust you? You're like, does it just seem like, God, what pussies?
Yeah, a little bit. But I suppose it works. It works, yeah.
What are the advantages? What are the advantages of 240 over 110?
I mean, there's not really, like, I mean, it depends what, all your sort of equipment's made out of, so it's all going to do the same thing, especially with how it's designed, like the amount of current that it draws and all stuff like that.
Because like our homes are 110, but then if you want to get a washer and dryer or like anything big, then all of a sudden you got to have the electrician come to your house and put in one of those big old weird plugs that you guys have, because all our washers and dryers are 220 or 240,
Yeah,
whatever
okay.
you called it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, off the top of my knowledge, like, I think obviously all the standards and rules would be different here.
An electrician seems like it would be a good friend to have, someone you could really take advantage of. But if you were my friend, I would still pay you full price, because I do realize that everyone is trying to make a living. I wouldn't be like, yo, can you come over and I'll make you a sandwich while you rewire my laundry room. That's not me. I just want you to know.
Depends how good the sandwich is.
Right. So, Jay's lived this damn good life, got a good mom and dad at home, not afraid of hard work, already planned for the future by having a vocation in place, has a girlfriend who sees eye to eye with him. Does she want to have kids?
Yeah, eventually. We just got a dog, so that's enough for now.
Oh yeah, that's a good first step. Holy shit, what were you thinking? Why did you get a dog?
I don't know, like, we're moving at the moment to to sort of a bit of a farm just on 17 acres, and yeah, I know, I just always sort of wanted my own dog, so yeah.
What kind of dog did you get?
German short-haired pointer.
Oh, sweet. What a sweet dog. And who's watching him now that you guys are here in the States?
My mum and dad.
Oh, typical fucking move. I did that shit to my parents all the time. Get a dog and then drop it off at the house. Jesus Christ. No, he's already... How old was he when you dropped him off? Was he even potty trained yet?
Yeah. He's a year old.
And do they have any dogs? Do they have any pets?
Yeah, they got a little dog.
Oh, what a fucking... Yep. That's... I can only imagine what my kids are going to do to me for the... Like, I got a Great Dane. I had 3 Great Danes. 3 Great Danes. And I would, like, go on a trip somewhere, and I would drop them all off at my mom's house. And my mom's 5 feet tall, 100 pounds. And I would drop off 350-pound savages at her house. It was... in hindsight, it was complete fucking idiocy on my part. It was dangerous. It was like... It's dangerous.
Jay, will you guys be able to
At least
grow any food or trees or anything on the farm when you move into it?
Yeah, but it's like we had a few cows that we just got rid of, but yeah, I suppose definitely.
What do you mean got rid of?
They just got big enough to send off.
To turned into meat?
And do you get
the meat yourself? Oh.
No, that was still.
But you don't.
Like where the house is only just starting to get built.
Are you the owner of the house? Oh shit! Your parent. God, so you gave left your dog at your parents' house, and your parents are also building a house for you and your chick to live in.
Well, I still live.
Holy
I still live
shit!
in my
Life is
parents'
good.
to
You live with your parents now, and they'll move into the house in the farm on the farm too. And does Maddie live with you? Oh, that's a good fucking life. I used to bring girlfriends home, and my mom would let them live with me too. That shit's great. That's good parenting, by the way, people.
They're really, really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they like her and she likes them?
Yeah.
Maddie and your mom don't fight?
Not at all.
That's good shit.
That's good shit. And your brother gets along with Maddie?
Yeah, they're really good friends too.
Does she have a sister?
Does she have a sister?
Yeah.
Oh, and what's your brother's name?
Toby.
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 He's got a girlfriend there.
Whatever.
Does he ever?
I don't want to set limitations on Toby. Just because you can only handle one, don't put that shit onto Toby. Maybe Toby needs two women. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Did you guys play a lot of the same sports growing up? Were you competitive with each other?
No, competitive with each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And now still?
Everything.
Now still.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In the CrossFit space, I mean, he's getting a lot better too. Like in the last year. So and he was on the affiliate team at Torian. But yeah, always competitive. But at the moment, yeah, he's just loves seeing me do well and always hyping me up.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
God damn it.
No, I feel like I've been a pretty good boy most of my life.
In 2018, you posted a picture on your Instagram,
And you have
your arm around one of the greatest human beings I've ever met that I enjoy being around. And you said you posted something like "with the man." How did you know Chuck Carswell was the man? He has no social media. No one knows who the fuck he is unless you went to your L1. How did you know to put your arm around this guy and take a picture and say, "with the man"?
Yeah, well, he was obviously like one of the main judges at the games for the teams, and
Okay.
yeah, I suppose like I just just could see like he's such a good dude, and then went to the after party and talked to him a little bit more, and yeah, wanted to get a photo with him.
He's great, isn't he? It's weird how everyone knows that about Chuck. You just meet him and you're like, holy shit, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great.
Yeah, what a great dude. And that is what people will call him. Oh, Chuck's the man. Chuck's the man. And he's not on social media. You can't like who knows if he sees how much accolades he gets. I don't even know if he knows how great the community thinks he is. He's so low profile. He's an amazing coach. He's one of the first people I met, early on in my CrossFit career, and I was just enamored with him. Have you taken your L1?
No.
Disgusting.
Well, in my defense, I'm just an electrician.
That's bullshit.
I've never really had too much interest in, being a coach.
Yeah,
you don't need to take that to be a coach. Don't. When you go over there, when you see Dave, ask Dave. Just walk right up to him and be like, "What place do I need to take here at this fucking event to get a free L1?" You really would like it. You would really, really like it. It is really. It's a great 2 days, and you'll have a blast. It's really cool. You know what they disseminate there, which is not talked about very much at all. But the culture, those L1 instructors, when you're there, of course, they're going to teach you all the fundamentals, right? And just all the things that Greg Glassman wanted the world to know about human movement that he could shove into 2 days. But you'll also learn about the culture. It seems like Rob's pretty much taught you about the culture already. I mean, you seem like an amazing contribution just as a person to the CrossFit community. You're upbeat, you're positive, you want people to do better around you. But those coaches, that's where you learn about the culture. That's where you learn to cheer people on. That's where you learn that it doesn't that a jumping pull-up isn't any less than a regular pull-up. It's just a different stimulus. And they just really, it's awesome. If you get a chance, I don't know why. This is the second time I brought this up, but I don't know why they don't make sure that all CrossFit Games athletes get a free L1, because you'd really love it. Has Maddie taken it? She has. Okay. And does she like it as much as I'd liked it?
Yo, Maddie,
you like the L1 or what?
She
girl?
said it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did she have
She
Chuck
coaches
Carswell?
at the gym? Did she coach
Go
at
ahead,
Rob's
Brian.
gym?
She coach at Rob's gym?
No.
No.
when she moved down to Melbourne, she pretty much stopped coaching.
Was it hard when she didn't make the games this year and you did? Is there?
Yeah.
Does she start crying and you're like, okay, get over it? Can you cry when I'm done with the games? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a point that, she's obviously was disappointed in not qualifying, but no, she's been really good about it and staying super positive for me.
And I guess she can live through it. I don't know what it's like because I've never been a top competitor, never really wanted anything that bad, like that as bad as I think you guys want this experience that you guys are striving to have. But there's got to be some part of it that's going to be really fun for her to see a different angle of it. It's like the same way as like these people who didn't make the games but get to be on the demo team. She's going to get to be back there and get a whole new perspective on the event, which is so different than being an athlete because she's going there in the capacity as your coach, right? Yeah, that's cool.
For sure. Like, I mean, it's like, even, I know it's totally different, but even for me, like, sitting back in the quarterfinals watching the affiliate team do it was just really cool, to be around that and cheer them on and sort of see how they go about it, It's cool just to sit back and not have to go through, all the pain and watch other people do it.
So
Do you guys draw?
I did check, by the way, and so Rob did start in 2011 at his first year at the games, but in 2014 when you started, there were already a handful of guys who are competing this year that were at the games way back then. Scott Panchik, Bjorn McConnell, Gudmundsson, Noah Olsen, Cole Sager. A few years later, you probably watch all these guys. We were talking to Pat Vellner a few days ago, and he said that he's going to use some of his veteran savvy to get in some of the young guys' heads, well, one guy in particular. What I'm curious about is if Rob Forte is giving you the dirt on some of these old guys so that you can do that for them.
No, he hasn't, but...
You got to bug him. You got to tell him what makes Scott Panchik tick. How can I throw that guy off his game?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for all the banter. It's going to be good.
Stay away from Scott. He's vicious. He's the nicest guy ever that can deliver the most piercing head mental shots. He was great back there. God, he's so funny. You don't expect him to be funny, but then he says the funniest shit. When I used to see him, like him and Josh would really taunt Matt. Maybe that was a mistake. When you say that 2014, Jay was only 15 years old.
Right. And these guys were already at the top of the sport, and they're still there, and now he gets to compete against them.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, that's nuts. Well, Jay, is there anything that you want to tell us? Like, it would have been fun to uncover some dirt about you, like that you were arrested or that like something happened to you, and ever since then, like you've been running from it by doing CrossFit. But you just sound like you have your head on straight.
Yeah, man, I wish I could tell you something juicy, but I got nothing. Hey, yeah, I just had my head down, just working.
Awesome. 1% of this podcast is uploaded.
Yeah,
nah. 1% %.
Oh god. Well, no, I'll get it sorted. I promise.